Welcome to the Ultimate Fancast, where fans are the star of the show. Each week we explore the epic co-created Battle Bunnies franchise from legendary artists Frank and Krista Linatra and the team at Junkbox Studios. Ultimate fans join BBS, Lord L, and Brian as they dive deep into the extraordinary world of the Battle Bunnies. Plus, we'll be your guides and take you backstage with the creators and actors who are captivating family audiences worldwide. Are you ready to meet this week's Ultimate Fan? It's time to fan up and enjoy the show.
Welcome to another episode of the Ultimate Fancast. This week we have a brand new member to the Battle Bunnies. Well, January-ish. So let's welcome to the stage Carly K.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi. Happy to be here.
So glad you could join us. Yeah.
So glad.
So you said January, like January 2024? Is that when
Yes.
you?
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you discover the Battle Bunnies?
So it all kind of came together as a series of random circumstances. I had attended and vendored at my very first convention in November and decided this was kind of what I wanted to start doing more. I've been doing my work for a few years now and kind of finally felt like the right time to start getting into the convention space and see if, people who attend those kinds of things want the stuff that I do. So my neighbor slash fellow creator slash friend suggested applying to Animate because she had applied. And I was like, sure, why not? Because price was relatively okay. And I was like, I need to try and see if, I fit into the anime sphere as well. Spoiler, I kind of don't, but that's okay. I kind of figured. So I applied to Animate. I got in. We're there. We're all set up. And my husband on kind of the endish of the first day was like, I'm going to go wander and see what's around. He's like, I'll probably be back in 10 minutes. He's like, let's be honest, most people here are just reselling art. And I was like, okay. He's gone for an hour. And he comes back and he's like, I have so much to tell you. And I was like, oh my gosh, my husband left and he came back a changed man. And he starts telling me about how he met this other guy who's there. He goes by Zero in the Discord, and I swear I want to remember his name, and I think it's Justin, but I'm probably wrong because it's been a really long time since I talked to him. He's like, I started talking to this guy, Justin, and he's telling me all about all these creators who are here that are kind of local creators, and he took me over to this booth called the Battle Bunnies, and he's like, I love this. I was like, oh, wow, this is striking a chord with him because he's also been trying to create his own card game based on my cafe IP. And so he's talking about Battle Bunnies, and he's like, there's this guy, Frank, he's the one who's doing all the art, and he's getting, this whole thing he's been telling me all about it. And he's like, it's great. You're going to love him. You're going to love the thing that he's doing. The art's so fun. And he's freaking out. I was like, okay, well, I can't leave my booth. I have a strict policy of I do not leave my booth during conventions. So Frank actually came over and said hi, and Justin was over and he's introducing us all, and he's like, yeah, and he's like, ooh, you make cool stuff. And he's like, I make cool stuff too. You should come and check out my cool stuff. And he's like, I like your cool stuff. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to come check out your cool stuff. And so at the end of that day,
Awesome.
Finally went over, was checking out his cool stuff, and I was like, I love this. I love the cards. I love the quality. You've got pins, which, you can only kind of see my wall, but I've got a wall of pins over here. So,
Yeah.
the first thing was that I noticed was that you could be sorted into your class, or what's the term that the bunnies use? Is it class system?
Class,
It is.
It's
class.
class.
Yeah,
Okay.
A lot of times,
Sweet.
yeah. They call it class. I think we've referred to it as other things before,
Mhm.
but class is 100%.
Class works. Okay.
Yeah.
So I saw that you could be sorted into your class, and I was like, this is fantastic because that's the kind of thing that we wanted to do with our stuff. And so on a very basic creative level, I was like, I instantly was like, yes, you are my kind of people. I want to support you. This is awesome. I still know next to nothing about how to actually play the game, but I love it. And yeah, by the way, I am a sorcerer, so sorcerer's rep.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and
I think you might be one of the few sorcerers that we've had, so that's awesome. Yeah.
yes.
Welcome.
I was very in on that from like the beginning. I was like, this is my jam. And so yeah, that's kind of how that all started. It was a very
That's awesome.
random set of occurrences that it's like, had I not applied to my first convention, I wouldn't have gone to my second convention, and had my friend not suggested it be animate, I wouldn't have been an animate. And had Jason not decided to go wandering off, he wouldn't have met Justin. And if Justin hadn't said anything to him, then it's always interesting how that kind of thing works, how it's like all these things that seem so disconnected end up to this. And it turns out, because Frank is local, we only live like 30 minutes from each other. So I was like, woohoo,
wow.
fellow creators.
That's very cool. Yeah, no, one thing, like, I will tell you this, I don't know what it is about sorcerers, but interviewing Ask Moonbeam and like doing a little bit of research for the podcast that we just did for the Battle Bunnies here on the Ultimate Fancast, I discovered that like all of our game masters are sorcerers, creature, the co-creator and kind of the main person behind the TCG game is a sorcerer.
Maybe there's a creativity aspect to it. I mean, there is magic.
Yeah. The magic, the seeking of knowledge, and the just all this stuff. I think something with your sorcerer thing, and being
what
part
did
of
they
that
say? Your
team.
vibe attracts your tribe, or something like that.
Yeah. Your vibe attracts your tribe, and
I think it's the sorcerer vibe.
It certainly
weird
does.
enough in the work world, I said that to a group of American museum volunteer leaders about the vibe attracts your tribe, and they were like, yeah,
Oh,
exactly, because they're like,
totally.
we totally get that, because they they attract volunteer leader, or they attract volunteers to the museum. Most of the museums in America, I guess, or around the world, are volunteer, a lot of volunteers, not people on staff. So I said, yeah, your vibe attracts your tribe. And they're like, yeah, that's exactly true within the museum world, I guess. So it's very true inside the Battle Bunnies, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Is Jason in the Discord too, or no?
He is. He's not as much of a social media user as I am, though. I still tell him anything that happens. So there's another Discord that I'm in that I'm really active in. And so I'm like constantly telling him about like the things that are being discussed in there, like the weird thing that happened today, or all the sorts. So he's in there, but he's not a Discord user.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
No.
Yeah, I was not a Discord user for the most part until the Battle Bunnies, and now like I spend every day in the Discord. It'd be odd for me not to be in Discord, and I have had my spells, but they're short.
Yeah.
For me, it's like drinking water. Like, you have a little bit of water, you're like, yeah, I don't get it. Oh, I need more water. Like,
yeah. There was a while there I was making sure I was doing like at least 100 hops a day to try and get a level every day.
Oh,
and
nice.
then just a ton of stuff happened, and I haven't unfortunately been in there the last month or so.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
What do you think about the rabbit hole? Like
oh, I love it. I love those kind of like little games. There's another one that I'm in for Death Carnival. It's an upcoming game that I have beta tested for a couple of times. And they have a little mini thing too, where you do a command and something happens, and you can do other commands to react to the previous commands. And I think that kind of little stuff is a lot of fun. I think it's a great way to have a little bit of community engagement without being like demanding. It's kind of like an idle, like no thought game you would play from like the App Store.
Yeah. Like you, when I was new to the Battle Bunnies, I didn't know people. I didn't know much, but I knew I could go in and percent hop, I would percent hop watching TV with the family. I would percent hop while I was riding on the Peloton. I would percent hop so like I think I've been beat by this. I think like DeFi or others have come in and beat this, but I think I hit like 10,000 hops
Yeah.
Like in a few, like less than a few months, like I'm
Mhm.
at like 44,000 hops or something like that now. But like I was doing 1,000 hops sometimes a day.
Wonder
Like
what my hop count
it was
is.
insane. It was insane how much I was
All right,
percent
get your
hopping
hop
that
count
day.
out. Let's go.
Yeah, get the hop count out. Yeah,
Count.
it's
All
but
right.
I have completely stopped hopping because I'm at the top tier. Like I can't earn anything. All I do is battle, and I feel like I'm taking away from other people because like I'm not helping them get to like the mega bosses and those kind of things because I hop battle, that kind of thing. So I know that the
Ooh,
Glocken is working on where are you at, BBS?
22
Very,
something and
very
change.
high.
22,000.
I am
Nice.
at 2,990. You know what?
That's
I need to
still a
hop
lot.
10
Hey,
more
I
that's
times
a
while
know.
great
we're
start
here.
though. That is a
Hit
great start.
Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah. No, it's no kidding. It can be a rabbit hole. Like I was like,
Yeah.
It gets easier and more fun though the higher the levels you get. Like it's really
yeah,
tough in the beginning.
I will say that's a little frustrating. So when I was new to it, I was like, I'm not getting anything. I'm not fighting anything. I'm not earning anything. And when I do fight something, I always lose. And so that was very
Mhm.
frustrating. And so it actually kind of turned me off for quite a while. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do this and deal with it.
I had the same feeling. Like I'm just gonna power through this, and it got better. I don't know.
here was
Yeah.
my trick. I never paid attention to whether I won or lost. I just kept percent hopping
It's
and
really
doing
hard
whatever
to
it told
not
me.
pay attention when they send you a big giant image that says you lose.
I know I'd see the boat, but I'd be like, all right, next, like
I've had 7 boats in a row, so I
It
know
would
the
drive
feeling.
me nuts though
Just
when
like
it's
they can't
like
be
you
another
just
boat.
need they'd be like, you need to roll higher than a one. And I'd
yeah,
roll a one.
one.
And they'd
And
be
they
like, and then it'd be like, you need to roll higher than a 20. And then it's like for some reason I would roll a 20 and I was like, why?
yeah,
We're just nat failures or nat wins. Like there is
yeah.
no in between here.
It should be tie goes to the bunny, but I don't know.
Yeah, it should. Yeah. We'll
Well,
put that into Glock.
if you hit a 20, it does count. But if you hit a 1 for a 1, it says you lose, which
Yeah.
kind of makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Haha, okay, I hopped 10 more times. I now have 3,000 hops.
Yes.
It was
Oh, that
driving
was
me
another
nuts.
thing that I did with my whole hop thing is like I would like look to see how many I got, and I would
Mhm.
always want to end on like a
A
round number or
0.
something like
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Always
Um,
have to end on a 0.
yeah. And it worked. I mean, it got me there. And then obviously the class icons, winning those
Mhm.
really, really helped, throughout the journey was
Mhm.
getting, because I was a holder. Like I I got like a bunny was the first thing, like when I came in. Well, it wasn't the first thing I bought, but after, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, I got a bunny. Um, so then I was starting to earn the class icon prizes and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so that was an incentive as well to get to those mega bosses to do that. And
Yeah.
I think they have
Yeah.
changed up the game now, right? Like everybody can get the mega bosses. Is that true, BBS? Do you know if that's?
Sure.
I can't
I think
remember.
that's true with the Dark Scyther. Everybody can get the Dark Scyther now.
Okay, yeah, I
There's
thought there
no
was a
limit
way
on
to.
that because really it's a Discord community economy system, right? So you really
Yeah,
want as many people in that as possible.
yeah, yeah. I used to think that like it was just my hop count that mattered, but it was
Mm.
everybody else's hop that counted to get you towards like the
I used to think
bosses.
that too, but then Glock is a great example of that. He'd just come in like top of the hour, take out a boss, and leave, and then I've already been hopping for 2 hours, and now I'm hopping for another hour. He just
Yeah,
comes in, he's like, "Hey everybody, how's it going?"
yeah, that's crazy.
I'm sure it was just luck and not something that
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
the system. But
No, I don't think he was bugging the system. Well, that's awesome that you're at 3,000 hops, because I mean that's a great way to level up in the Discord too,
yeah,
Ooh,
for
if I
new
get to
members.
3,001, I can say it's over 3,000.
that's true. More than 3,000. That's a marketing thing.
Well,
Or
I
you could say
mean,
nearly 3,000. That works too.
well, I'm pretty sure it's over. It's supposed to be it's over 9,000, but a lot of people were changing it down to 3,000. I can't remember why. For some reason, it was like my, you guys probably don't know this because it's from my younger generation. We would say 3,000, and I can't remember why. I'm gonna have to think that one. I'm gonna have to remember why, and then tell you why.
My wife gave me a keychain from the Marvel movie where Tony Stark would say to his daughter that I love you 3,000. It doesn't anything.
Isn't
with
it
that.
1,000?
No, it's 3,000. I
Is
love
it?
you 3,000. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
Inflation.
There you go.
No,
So Carly, when you're hopping, right? Do you get the class icons or no? Like it's a different experience, right?
Class
no?
icons.
Yeah, like it'll say, "Hey, you want a shaman icon?"
It's the ones they spin around. They're an NFT that.
Yeah. So the only thing I've been winning is like carrots.
The golden carrots. Yeah, those are good too.
That's still good.
Because you can use those in the shop if you get to 10,000 gold carrots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can get like some of the lands. That's the only way I've been able to earn the lands, because it used to, like for early Spartans, people inside the collection that, were here 2 years ago when they rolled out the Spartan collection, they got they got like the Imaginic Falls drawing, and they got the Bunny Heart tree and the King Harold through, just being here and being around. I've had to spend through 30,000 gold carats in order to get those.
Exactly. So I mean, I've got
an extra of one of those too.
Yeah, I've only got like 750, so I'm a ways off from being able to get anything.
Hey, it's just hopping. Yeah, I mean, it's like, quite honestly, you just you keep hopping.
But
like
since January, like if you think about it, since January, those are great numbers. Like really.
Yeah,
thanks.
Like I was insane. Also, let me preface this, Carly. I was unemployed, so I had lots of time to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and so self-employed mother of 2 and husband who works odd hours. It's kind of like during my relaxing time, I want to be reading my book.
Yeah, totally get it. Yeah, I was trying to find the next opportunity, and so I was like writing on the bike and just doing things, and I would just jump in and hop every time I thought about it, and that's the only way I was able to do that. Like right now, I'm back at a full-time job. I have a part-time job. In the evening, like I have no time to do any hopping.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's just, I totally get it. So
yeah.
So Kyla, when you walked over to the booth, did you walk over to the booth at the convention, to the Battle Bunnies booth?
Yeah, I went over there a couple times. Usually just
was there any
just
character
after.
that caught your eye? Like, was there any character that really just caught your eye? Like, oh, I like that one.
Probably. I think it's Sonia. Is Queen Sonia, right?
Christikins is the queen, but Sonia is also
Sonia is the also Valkyrie, right?
She's the Valkyrie. Yeah, she's the Valkyrie that
so yeah, it was Christikins, because I was like, ooh, I like the idea of the Valkyries. Which I actually thought I would end up in the Valkyries, but then I got classified as a sorcerer. I was like, you know what? I agree with this.
That's cool. No, I love.
Yeah,
I love hearing that you went through the class test and you were, you came out something other than a Viking. I'm a Viking. BBS is a pirate. Lord L is a shaman. So, it's just like we all had, and BBS chose the pirate because he actually came out something different.
I think,
but he's like, that would be what a pirate would do, right?
Yeah,
like he would not take the.
So I was a sorcerer also, and I chose pirate.
Oh, okay.
I think Jason is a Viking, if I remember right. Yeah, he's a Viking because I made him do the test.
It's fun, right? I don't know.
No, personality quizzes are exist for a reason. We claim to not like labels, but we like to be classified. It's one of the reasons why, like, I have a personality quiz for my cafe for people to figure out which character are they most likely to hang out with. So not which character are you, because I mean that's a little cliche. It's like which character would you connect with more? Would you hang out with more? Would you just spend time with? So because we don't really have like classes or anything like that in the cafe. We just have our main characters. But I don't want people to actually be those characters. I want them to feel like they're included in the world, not replacing the characters.
Very cool.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a smart take on that, because I mean, like so yeah, no, the class or the identifying with
Mm-hmm.
like I identify with like the Spartans, but I guess the Spartans are part of the Vikings, and I also kind of identify with the shamans. I love the the actually you can't see it because of the way my camera is, but I've got like a shaman right there
Mm-hmm.
on the wall that I printed out, and he's got a backstory, and his name's Dark Matter, and I was like, oh,
Ooh,
he's
good
really
name.
cool. So I I kind of identify with like the storyline and stuff, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
really cool. But I think I'm just gonna stick with the class of Viking, which
Yeah.
that's what the class exam pointed me towards. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
Yep.
fought being a Slytherin for the longest time, and then I was like, you know what? I am a Slytherin. So sometimes it just takes a moment to realize that's where you belong.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now I've got to ask this because that definitely means you're a Potter fan, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
is there a new movie coming out? Like, or was that a fake trailer that I saw?
If you saw
There's
anything
several
today,
fake.
never believe it because it's
Well,
April
no, it
Fool's
wasn't today. It was like last week, and it had to do with like something. It was like Harry Potter and the something child or something like that.
Oh, so Cursed Child
The
is
Cursed Child. Yeah.
actually something I have never read because it's more of a playwright and it's set in the future. It's Harry's kids.
Okay.
I've never read it. I've heard the story is pretty dumb and the synopsis seems pretty ridiculous in my opinion. But yeah,
Mhm.
so they're turning it into a film, I believe.
Okay, so they are going to
Um
do a movie. Are you a book only, or
Oh
do you like
no,
the films?
I like the movies and the books, and I have the collection of like the short side books that are like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which was actually just a little handheld book before they turned it into the movies that people don't talk about. Um,
I watched
and
them.
then
I thought they were all entertaining.
huh?
Yeah, I watched the movies. I like any of those
Well,
things.
I liked the first Fantastic Beasts where it was actually about fantastic beasts and where to find them. But then the
Mhm.
next two just kind of became a Dumbledore adjacent
Yeah.
movie. And so I was kind of like, about it because I wanted it to be Newt's
Mhm.
movie, like, and the beasts and where to find them. I wanted him to go on adventures. I didn't want to be in America. I wanted to go to Africa. I wanted to go to Bulgaria. I wanted to go back to Europe. I wanted that,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
Dumbledore's backstory.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I
that makes
agree, and
sense.
they must have complained after the first movie and said, "Hey, what? This is part of that world. Why aren't we seeing any of those characters?" And it looks like they just gave everybody what they wanted, and
Yeah,
they shouldn't have.
yeah,
The
it
first
was a
movie
bit
was
of fan
great.
service. Yeah, the first movie was, and I don't mind because I mean, this is the Wizarding World. I don't mind having characters that are adjacent. So, like Harry Potter or the Hogwarts Legacy game came out last year, and that was one of the best games I've ever played. And I've played quite a few Harry Potter games, but I mean, like, this was on point because it was a Hogwarts world game without any, like, it wasn't actually tied to the original story of like Harry and everything, but you had characters that made sense why they were there. So we have a Weasley like ancestor, like, so and she's the headmaster of the school. And that makes sense because the Weasley family is one of the oldest wizarding families to exist. So it would make sense
Mhm.
that there is a Weasley at the school.
Especially a
And
female. So
yeah, well, and so like it
they're
made
stronger.
sense to have some of these characters that you're like, oh, like it makes sense that your name is here, but it didn't matter that she was a Weasley. It wasn't like, and I'm going to have a grandson and they're going to name him Ron or something like that. It's like that wasn't in there, it wasn't needed. And so I appreciated that. They did the game perfectly. If either of you play games like video games, 100% you need to play Hogwarts Legacy. Even if you're not a Potterhead, this game itself is just a beautiful game of magic and adventure and mystery. So play it.
I have not found time to play games, unfortunately.
I think I
I
have
have.
that game. It came out last year, right?
Hmm.
Where you can roam the castle for like 10 hours without even doing the game, basically. Is
Yes,
that the
and
same
that was
thing? Yes. Okay.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I started that, but then time. But I've read all 7 books, and
Yeah.
I do enjoy watching the movies. Like I enjoy the cinematography of it, but I also
Mhm.
enjoy like the extra little things that the book tells you that the movie doesn't.
Yes.
I like that, like having both of that like kind of
Yes.
cross in. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So any character that you just like love, that like, who's your favorite character? For me, it's Snape. I like Snape a lot. He's great.
Favorite character in the
I
Potter
like the
book?
actor too. I like the actor a lot.
I mean, probably just Hermione, because I felt like I could relate to her. She was always kind of a little bit awkward socially, but could when she made friends, like she was like a true friend. And she was like smart, but like kind of always hanging out with the group that didn't quite understand the same level of book smart, but not quite as street
Mhm.
smart as everybody else. And so I was like, I kind of relate to this girl. Um, like I'm very book smart, not terribly street savvy. um, and yeah, I don't know. Like I liked her passion for magic. Like, yeah, she could be a little bit too passionate at times, but I was like, yes, like find the thing that you love and do that. I know that, there's always stuff that kind of gets in the way or causes people to have a little bit less time, but I was like, yep, book reader, passionate magic fan. I could tell you like everything about like a certain subject. Um
I mean, they're in
yeah.
the middle of the woods, and she's just got a bag, and she's just pulling out like all this stuff,
Yes.
and they're like,
Mhm.
"We'd be dead without you." So like,
No, that's me. That's me. Like,
great.
I have, like pretty much women carry purses. It's kind of just a typical thing. Men carry their wallets. So yes, it is very much a woman thing to be like, oh yeah, I got a pen. Oh yeah, I got like a hanky. Oh yeah, I've got like essence of Dittany because I can put your skin back together. Like it makes sense.
Oh,
Yes.
that's awesome.
So probably Hermione is my favorite.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. Very good choice. Um,
So
go ahead.
do you want to go into that thing that we were talking about, Brian, or do you want to skip on to something else?
No, I think that would be great.
All right, so we've done some number crunching, and we've looked around, and the other reason why we wanted to talk to you tonight was we have a little bit of a surprise for you.
Oh.
So we noticed that you are a non-member in the Battle Bunnies, and we'd like to change that. We'd like to give you
Okay.
a Yulian so that you can become a full member, and then you can hop to your heart's content and get all the rewards that members get with that. And it unlocks channels, and you're already a member, and it's already like you're already family here. So, but this
Oh.
will just give you more access to a lot more of the world. And it's a pretty cool Yuligan. I think I have it. Let me see if I can share it.
Well,
Yeah,
shoot,
you can.
guys. Thank you. That's really sweet of you guys.
This is
I
Brian, how do I do
I'm
that? Do I add new layers?
I know next to nothing about NFTs and how they work and why they exist or anything. So it's not ever been something it's not
We
ever
can
been
help you
something
with
that
that.
that like when they're like, "Hey, we're doing dragon releases." It's like I don't know what that means, but I love that
yeah,
you guys
yeah,
love it.
Yeah,
yeah. No,
Like
that'll be
no, you're
something.
looking at a guy that, as of last May, had no idea what John Briggs, who's one of the co-founders, was talking about. Because
Mhm.
2 years ago in May, when they were doing the Spartan launch and all this stuff like that, he was talking about these NFTs and their collection and all this stuff, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So it took me meeting him at the conference a year later, same conference, just the second year of this conference that we both are never ending ticket holders for.
Mhm.
And he's like, he sees me and he's like, hey, yeah, everything's going great with the Battle Bunnies. Like he's like, are you going to V Friends? Which there's a whole bunch of NFTs, that Gary Vaynerchuk and V Friends are Gary has his own stuff. He has his V Friends, or it's called actually VCon, and it was in Indianapolis. And he's like, "Are you going?" I was like, "I wasn't planning on it," but John's like, "You should go." So I go, and then I get hooked. And then now, like, I've got like all this. We're doing this Fancast. Like, it's like, I became an expert in NFTs very quickly. So
An ultimate fan.
Yeah, I'm an ultimate fan, self-proclaimed, but yeah, like it's.
So apologies, I don't have this
dive
queued
in
up, but I'm
pretty.
working on it.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll let him get that up, but
Try that.
But yeah, like I quickly became a big fan of NFTs and specifically the Battle Bunnies, like that.
Yeah.
But it was all because of John. It was like your serendipity where you talked about going to, one show and then to a next show, or you wouldn't, be sitting here talking with us because of that,
random circumstances.
Yeah, that happy good luck kind of thing. Like it's that's the same way with my stuff here. And just, I love the art. Like I fell in love with the art. So when they showed me all of that, like I got really geeked out and excited about that because I could see a difference. Like I thought our NFTs were some of these things like
this is exactly what I said to Frank. I was like, NFTs from what I've seen are these stupid like monkeys or like literally just a banana, and it's like way too many colors. There's literally no theme to it. It's just garbage. And Frank's like, yeah, that's not what we're doing though. I was like, and I get that. I still don't know what an NFT is.
It's just the the underlying mechanics of getting that digital collectible, that digital art out onto the world so that others can see it. It's and the great thing, I don't know, the great thing about it, like there's all this transparency, so like you can see the life of something, like that it was
I understand that it's similar to like a Star Wars chain code, but that's about as far as I because like for me, as somebody who has experienced digital art for decades now, and I've commissioned artists, so I own digital versions of art that they have drawn for me, and I own digital pieces of art. It's kind of like, well, to me it's like, kind of what's the difference here, because I own this piece of art already because I commissioned this artist and I bought full rights off of them, so therefore it is mine. But also I can go to Google and just look at art, and I don't need to own it to enjoy it still. It's just there. So for me, that's the part that I struggle to understand. I get the record of like ownership and like legitimacy, but then it's also hard for me to be like, why buy it when I could just Google it?
And it's the utility, like
look at him, candle snatcher.
And so at the Ultimate Fancast, we love our backgrounds.
Well, I asked them about this. I pointed out because I was like, this is based on there's the German word for it, which means candle snatcher. He's like, yeah, that's actually exactly what they're based on. I was like, fantastic. And so
you even know the story behind the Yuligan, so that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love that Frank and Krista do that.
Now.
I like him. He's fun, and he's purple too. So yay! I use a purple heart emoji like all the time.
Very nice. I guess the next question will be getting this into a digital wallet. If you're new to NFTs, that may be something we need to get you hooked up with Frank or somebody on the team.
Because I don't have one of those.
they can set you up good with that. Because right now, like this is in BBS's wallet. He needs to get it into a wallet that's owned by you and Jason, so that you guys can enjoy it. And again, like it's the
link
utility.
It to the website of the Discord.
Yeah. Like I bought my first NFT that I bought crypto first. I bought like some Ethereum and some BTC and some other things as they were getting like the second wave. I wasn't like early on with any of this stuff, but
we've had Bitcoin before.
Yeah, so like about that, but I transferred my crypto into NFTs. So now most of
Mhm.
my ownership of Ethereum based
Mm,
assets is in NFTs. I don't have
Mm.
any real amounts of crypto in my Coinbase account or
Mhm.
Robinhood or any
mm,
of these other places. So, but yeah, it's like because I'd much rather hold a piece of digital art that I own because of the
Mhm.
utility, like BBS was talking about. As a Series One holder, you're then able to get access to new things like early minting, sometimes early, you know,
Mhm.
like with this was like the Yuligan collection. Was there, what did they do for the Yuligan collection? Do you remember, BBS?
So the first year it was a holders only mint, and there was some, there's some different art with it all. Like each one of these, so these are, each trait on here is different than all of the other NFTs. So not all of the NFTs are the same.
Mhm.
So some have the Santa hat, some have the Santa shoes,
Mhm.
some have the pajamas, some are holding plates, some are holding licking sausages, which is another thing, and or holding an egg. They're just fun, and it's one of my favorite series from the Battle Bunnies. Like
Yeah,
whenever I do a trade, I'll say, "Yeah, that's great," and then at the very end, I'll say, "And if you can add a Hooligan to that, that would be great."
Ooh,
yeah,
there's
yeah. And they did
So
it
I always
all
add a
based,
Hooligan.
based on the 13 Days of Mischief, right? So it
Right,
follows
13
that.
Days of Mischief. There's a book on the store that
Yeah.
has their story and like
And that's
coloring.
also cool that they turned it into like a physical book and it has like coloring pages and games and that kind of stuff. So it's um I I love that about Frank and Krista and John and Mike. We always leave John and Mike out, but John and Mike are from Food Fight Studios, and they're
Mhm,
Mike is the one behind the contract and the ability to to make all these cool things come to life and be on the blockchain
mhm,
and do
Mhm.
all that stuff. But we always talk about Frank and Krista because they're the artists and the creators behind the digital images and the collectibles and the books and all this stuff that we're
mhm,
all excited about. So
Yeah.
I love, yeah, so that's cool. So yeah, you get you I mean, and down the line they do, Frank and Krista do things like for holders. So if you had the Hooligan thing, I think you got the ability to get the Hooligan book early or something. Like, I don't remember. Krista will have to correct this. And um
Yeah, so
uh
you'll get access to a channel where it give you all the series one news. You'll get there's usually more giveaways in that channel, so like more chances to get that dark cider.
Okay.
Um, I don't know, it just gives you that no matter what, like whether you're a holder or
Mhm.
not holder, you're treated the same, and it's the same thing. But it's I don't know, there's just like that extra when you are a holder. It's just kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah. So that was all BBS. BBS, approached me. He's like, "Hey, could we do this?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." I was like, "I love that. I think that would be awesome." Um,
Well,
because
I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Um,
so I mean, tell us about your business. You're working on, like, you've got um you're building a business, right? Around the gaming stuff. You've done some things, right? Tell.
So I've been making displays. So I make bespoke displays for the avid collector. That's my tagline. I've been doing that for 5 years now. Well, 3.5, and about a 1.5 before that was when I was kind of doing more like giftable items. Mostly things like controller stands and headphone stands that could be engraved with like people's gamer tags. So still kind of a display in a way. But
mhm,
I make displays for all kinds of collections, whether it's pins, books, coins, coasters, kind of really whatever I can make a frame for it. So like I do actually because I've got so like pin displays kind of like this. where the pins on the front nicely framed inside of the square. And then on the back, you still have your pin backs, so you don't lose those. And then you can hang it just like that. And I've got, I do. There's like a card deck display right there. There's a coin display up there. I've got book displays, I'm sure, somewhere on that shelf. So I found that people collect a lot of stuff, and oftentimes that stuff ends up in drawers or kind of inorganized
out of the drawer right now.
in the way that it's shown off. So like cork boards are not so like cork boards are not very
Like,
organized.
All these cards.
Yeah, and so you know, I mean, that kind of thing. It's a lot of the flat stuff that people don't really know what to do with. Like art, it's a little bit easier because I mean, it's art. You hang it on the wall. That's what people expect to do with it. One person who, well, most of my fan base tends to be Brandon Sanderson related. And so a lot of his merchandise, swag, as he calls it, is very artsy though. And so people want to show it off. They want to have it hung up somewhere. They want to have it on their shelves somewhere. They want to be able to show people, you know, the really cool, pretty thing that they got from Brandon Sanderson. But it's, other than art frames, it's really hard to find something that you can use that looks good to show off things like your card decks, your pins, your coins, especially the challenge coins is where this all started. People are like, you know, I'll just lay it flat on a shelf, I guess. Or put it in my drawer. I guess I carry one in my pocket everywhere I go, which is a lot of fun, by the way. Yeah, I mean, it kind of just went from there. I found a piece of art, Brandon Sanderson related. It's done by his head artist, well, one of his head artists, Isaac, and realized that the coins that we were all getting from one of Brandon's Kickstarter, his first Kickstarter actually, for the Way of Kings leather-bound books, fit the art piece that I found. And I was like, I wonder if there's a way I could put the coins in something that looks like this art piece. And so I translated the art into a multi-layered wood piece, and the coins fit specifically into the holes exactly where they were supposed to be according to the art. And I shared it into the Kickstarter, and someone's like, take my money. I was like, okay, well, I have to ask. So I asked Dragonsteel, that's his company, and they said you'd have to get a license. And so, you know, it took a few months, but I got officially licensed to make this display for the coins. And then it all just kind of went from there. Got more orders than I expected. I expected to maybe only get 300 over the course of the 2 years that I had my license, and it ended up somewhere around like 1,200. And that expanded into other displays. So, these very organized pin displays, just all of it. So been doing it for a few years. I try to come out with something new at least every other week, and trust me, there are plenty of things that people want some kind of box for. It's very surprising, and it's not that these things don't exist. There's coin displays that exist. There are pin displays that exist. There are pop figure display boxes, but they're not pretty. They're just kind of boring, and people don't want boring to go with their cool thing. Yeah, like just a box.
But it's serviceable, right? I mean, it
is, and so there's that too. Yeah. Like some of my things could be used for like storage, and so like I have a dice display. I have one that's just a seven slot dice display. Very light, very portable, and people can just kind of tuck it into their satchel or into their backpack or whatever and take it with them. And then I've got a bigger one that can hold up to, I think it was 43 dice, so like 6 sets of dice plus 1.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. And what was cool about that one is that it's not just like a nice portable carrying thing. I mean, it's a bit bulkier than just putting it all in a bag, but it looks cool, is that the centerpiece that houses all of the dice can come out and you can use it as a dice tray. So I like to make my stuff not just look cool, but also function in a way that people, want it to, that make what they have not just another thing, but a thing that they can show off. There's quite a few people who've emailed me over the years who are like, I have your original coin display. It's like the first thing people see when they come into my house, and it's always a talking point for any time there's someone new over. And so then they're like, and then I get to talk about Brandon Sanderson to them. So thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, I just want to make it look
That's
cool.
fun.
Yeah, you can
So
see I
neat.
like to display things, and
Yes.
as you mentioned, I have pins just like leaning up against stuff,
Mhm.
and I actually inside each of the cups I have other like keychains, like
Mhm.
like and a lot of it's Battle Bunnies, but I've got some other stuff over here that you guys can't see that it's kind of the same thing. It's like, what do I do with it? It just lays there flat. I've got like
Yeah.
the cards, the collector cards, these,
Mhm.
these things that
Yeah.
they're
Mhm.
tucked away. I don't get to enjoy them because I don't have them on display someplace. So,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
saw something in your shop that you could use, Brian.
in
It was
her
it was
shop.
like a free,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I bet there is.
Dragonwoodshop.com.
Yes, dragonwoodshop.com is where I am. I do intend to have put up a card display that can hold like graded cards or plastic, like hard plastic cards. Because right now my card displays are meant for just like perfect fit sleeves.
Okay.
So people can show off kind of like their single cards. But yeah, I mean, I always have plans, and I'm always open to people suggesting things as long as you can provide measurements if it's something I don't already have. So if it's like, I've got uh a CGC rated Pokemon card. Okay, well, I don't own any of those, so I don't know how big the plastic sleeve is on that. So it's like I just need you to tell me how big it is and I can make something cool.
I imagine, are you have you always worked with wood? Or is this, kind of a new hobby that's just expanded because of your interest in this?
So, I've always been artsy, kind of craftsy, kind of. I like to make stuff. I would make like my mom like a Mother's Day card every year, and my dad a Father's Day card, and I just bought a card for my brother because he didn't care. But so I was always like making stuff. And college, I had a class where we had to start. Oh wait, no, actually that started before that. So the next thing I wanted to make was I wanted to make armor. When I was getting older, I wanted to cosplay really bad. I wanted to make costumes and cool armor. And there's one character from a game my husband was playing, and I was like, I want, that'd be such a cool costume to like, or armor to like cosplay in. And so my husband was like, well, do it. Figure out. He's like, you're always saying this, so do it, because he also really liked the costume. So it's like, okay. So I figured out how to make dragon scale and chainmail armor. And I was doing that for like a year, a couple of commissions for a few friends. I never did end up making that costume. I did start blogging about it, but I never finished it. And along came a college class, entrepreneurship college class, where we had to actually start a real business. And a lot of people, most people opted to just be kind of like affiliate bloggers where you would make links and stuff. But a couple of us decided to do like physical businesses. And I was like, okay, well, I am going to make dragon scale and chainmail a physical business. I am actually going to go all in. So, I got registered with the state, bought a bunch of stock, started making things to take photos and post it up, taking commissions and everything. And so I did that for like a year. My hands got really buff. Like I had like armor, I had armor pliers. I was working with steel rings. I was like, and it was good because I was pregnant at the time. I wasn't moving around much. I was finishing college. And so then even when Cassie was born, like she didn't do much. So I didn't do much. So, I would turn on like Star Trek and chainmail. So I did that for a while. And that was about the time that the Glow Forge, I don't know if you guys know what the Glow Forge is. It's just like a tabletop laser machine. Was really hitting popularity. But that was also a time where it was like, didn't have a whole lot of money going. Husband was at, basically a job that we could just barely afford everything and maybe have like $5 left over at the end of the month. Like that's how things were, 2 kids, finishing college. I wasn't working. My husband was only one working. And he came up to me and he's like, let's get you a Glow Forge. And I was like, that's like $4,000. We don't have $4,000. And he's like, no, we don't. But you creating stuff is worth investing in. Which my husband is the best. So just saying. And so he's like, then you could start doing engravings on your scale mail. You could start offering like really cool patterns on things. So it wasn't just get a Glow Forge, it was use a Glow Forge to expand what you're doing. So I was like, okay, fine. We're getting a Glow Forge. Got a Glow Forge. Yeah. And
don't twist my arm. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was also like, I don't know anything about creating design files on a Glow Forge. But my degree, luckily, so my degree is in web design and development, and I focused heavily on design. So I did already know the basics of creating SVGs and various graphics and all that kind of stuff. So I did know a bit about design. It was just a bit of a learning curve to figure out how to design for a Glow Forge. So I was like, okay. So I started doing commissions for like engraving scales for somebody who does very small scale mail earrings. And I started doing kind of like, I just started doing what I could of putting the Glow Forge and the scale mail together, but then also doing woodworking. And that's when that's kind of when Stadia really started being a thing too. This is the Google Stadia I was telling you about earlier. And I made a friend through there who was like, okay, sweet. I need you to make trophies for the tournaments that I'm going to be doing on Stadia. And so that was really lucky for me because he kind of became like a small source of like steady income because he had a tournament every month. So there was always a trophy I was making every month. And then I was making graphics for him too. So, I mean, that brought in a little bit. And then I really started getting into like controller stands, headphone stands, wall mounted, desk mounted, on top of your game station mounted, like all of that. And I was making a lot of Catan boards. So I started on kind of these giftable items. And then I finally got around to the coin display for Brandon Sanderson. I know that was a really long-winded story.
No,
but like I can't just start with I made a coin display. It's like it really all started back with I wanted to make armor because the armor led to the machine, led to the wood creation, led to the display.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of things that randomly lead to each other. So
I have a feeling your episode is going to have some sort of naming convention that'll be around that because it's, there's a common theme here,
Yeah.
And this is the tribe right here because each of us have a little bit of web, a little bit of design, a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like business and marketing and just everything you need to have in that.
And that was part of what made me so interested in the Battle Bunnies was the goal, the achievable like timeline, the ideas, the enthusiasm behind all of it too. I was like, these are people who get me on that side of my life of being solid business planners. Like I love a good product, but I even more love a product that has a plan behind it. Like I love supporting fellow creators who are like, I know what I'm doing. I'm not just taking your money to like fail spectacularly in a year. It's like, no, there is something legitimately here for the Battle Bunnies. And that immediately I was like, sold. I'm here. So I was like, I'm buying this book. I'm getting these stickers. I'm like, you can't. I was like, let me look through. Yeah, I was like, let me look through every book you have because I want to find the one that I want of the ones you have left. I was even like, I thought I was going to go for the lowest number, but instead I went for the one that had the most signatures. So I was like, woohoo.
Smart. Yeah, no, that's
That's
well
smart.
played. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
well played.
Well played.
Um,
And I love the display that you created for that. It fits it perfectly, like the etchings on
Thank
it.
you.
It's beautiful.
That was a lot of fun. Frank sent me the card bordering, and then I redrew that into just my typical SVG format so that it would engrave correctly. And then, you know, we worked back and forth a couple of times to figure out placements of everything. I actually have the very first version that I made was green wood because I wanted to kind of contrast and match the green words, but not the blue background. Frank and Krista both really liked the blue instead. They kind of wanted it to kind of merge together, which totally fair. And then, you know, we talked back and forth about engraving, like where should the logo go, where should the number go, where should the word mark go, and it does look cool. I actually really like it every time someone orders one.
Yeah.
And then there's the character minis, the wooden standees. So those were a lot of fun. Frank did the line art specifically for those because he just, you know, he had just done the whole art piece instead. I was like, you know, I need the line art, and so he very quickly did the line art, and then I edited around so that it could work for engravings. So there's a hoplite and is it Blackbeard? Jackbeard. Thank you. So there's those two wooden standees, and there's plans for more.
Yeah, I'm excited. You came in at about a time that things got not so great here at the Stout household, so
yeah,
I'm working out of that. I'm working out of that so I can get back into this, you know, collector, and like you're doing all the things that like I would have gobbled up everything you've put together for the Battle Bunnies, but it's I've got to work through a couple more things, and then we'll be back.
I plan to be around for multiple years, so
yeah,
I will be here whenever you're ready.
You can see I've got.
I heard trophy, and I'm like, we might need a trophy for the show. We're going to do an award show later on in the year.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. You probably didn't hear about this, but we're going to do the Binky Awards. Like when a bunny binks, like they do a binky, they jump and kick out their legs, and that means that they're excited. You might have seen like a bunny doing that on Instagram or, you know, TikTok or something like that, but it actually has a name.
My childhood, I've seen a few rabbits in my life.
Yeah. They do it in the wild. They do, you know, like so yeah, like that binky is a real thing. So we were planning on doing an awards program on February 24th of 2024, but just one thing or another, but it's a community awards program, and we do want to give out a trophy. So maybe we can work with you to, for when we do that, to actually give out physical trophies to, you know, to the award winners. There's about 25 awards that we initially have slotted, but we may do less, we may do more. So yeah, we got some fun awards out there that we want to do for the community, because we've got, you know,
new holder award might be something. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
Make it for myself.
Yeah.
That's great. Are there any future products that you would want to do for the Battle Bunnies? Like any things that you're looking at it going, oh, that would be a cool idea, or, you know, if you could say it.
So
like
one of the fun things, one of the fun things with the wooden standees is that there's also a hop counter, so that you can so you'll be able to like keep track of like where your character is and how many rounds you've won. You'll be able to put little hop feet on your wooden standee to know how many rounds you've won. There's also a token that you'll be able to move around to know how many plays have been done. So just kind of those kinds of things is something I would love to do, is more stuff that like enhances the game a little bit. And so like, because I was making originally these standees for my cafe, because I have my own crowdfund actually happening later this year. I have one going right now for some pins, but I have one going later this year as well, specifically for the cafe. And I shared those wooden standees of my characters with Frank, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is perfect. He's like, we need these. We can include these with our game. They would go awesome with the mat. And then, it's a little reminiscent of like D&D because you got your little character. So definitely just want to do more of those, especially whenever the sorcerer's deck comes out, Frank.
You're working on a card.
I need a sorcerer's character. Come on.
Well, we need to get you a sorcerer then, because like to get into the game for the sorcerers, you need to have a sorcerer battle bunny. So
Yes.
that's the next step, is figuring out how we can do that. Because that would be awesome. Like to name that character, be in the actual card game, that kind of thing. So I'm hoping that one of my shamans or what's the other deck they're working on? Is it Valkyries?
It's Valkyries and Shaman next, and then it's
Okay, that's right.
Sorcerers and who are the last ones?
I think, let's see. We've got Vikings, Pirates. So next would be Shamans and Valkyries, and then and it would be what is it? Sorcerers and Spartans, maybe? Sorcerers and Spartans? Would they do Spartans? I don't know. This is a question for Frank and Krista and Mike.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be sorcerers and Spartans then, because it's just the 6. Yeah, because it's pirates and no, pirates and Vikings are already out. Yeah,
they could expand the Vikings and pirates, the initial deck. Those can keep expanding. They can add cards to all of those, and But there's just the 6. I call them factions sometimes, but the Spartans are really just they're a Viking. They're the protectors of Imaginic Falls. Oh, those are really cool.
Yeah, that's them. And so they arrive on and you can just see behind it a little outline of the hop count or the round counter feet that you can put on there to know how many rounds you won. Now, obviously, if you win 2 rounds, you don't have to put all 2 feet, but they're there if you want them. Nice. But yeah, definitely want to do more of those for sure, because they were really fun to make. And so they arrive flat in like kind of a little flat card like this, and you pop them out. But also before you pop them out, you could paint them if you wanted. So they take acrylic paint pens, paint markers really well. Yeah.
Nice. So much fun.
My brother-in-laws are like I always tell everybody they would be big fans of the TCG, and like my brother-in-law, he creates his own things with his printer. He's got one of those printers that will print like stuff for like all the games that he and his friends play on Friday and Saturday nights, and
3D printers.
Yeah, 3D printer, exactly. And does the boards, and then he paints the characters, and he adds lights to them and all this stuff. And like he loves all this stuff, but I haven't got him to play the Cider Chronicles. Like I need to get them. We were supposed to play over the holidays, and then they got sick, and we didn't have a chance because we're not together all that often. Because I need them to teach me how to play the game too, because they've played trading card games for decades, and I never played with Pokemon or Magic or any of the other trading card games. So I'm just more of a collector. I hold this stuff, and I want to learn how to play it. BBS plays it. You can see his mats are out on this table behind him, and
I like playing it. I have other games like Magic. The family's into Lorcana also, so I have a pirate deck for that. That's pretty funny. Anyway, so I take out these cannons in Lorcana, like you can bomb characters, and then I take out a Captain Hook, and it brings the cannon back to my hand, and that's fun for the family.
I'm sure they love it.
They love it. Yeah, but it's a good time. Like cards are just fun. Like anytime you can just sit down and hang with people that that are part of your circle, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I know about Lorcana is I did a bunch of research on it for John, like how they launched and that kind of stuff. It looked really. I mean, I'm a big Disney fan, so
Yeah.
so they've done an excellent job. I think they were in high demand though. Like my brother-in-laws were at Gen Con. Do you go to Gen Con every year or at
I've
all? Or
literally only attended 2 conventions, and that was the 2 that I vendored at.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, yeah, then you have not been to the Insanity, which is Gen Con, but
no, but
apparently
I've
they were
applied to Dragon Con. So
oh, sweet.
Oh,
Yeah,
see.
that's another big one, right?
Yeah.
good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. They just like those conferences where there's 75,000 people. Like my brother-in-law said they were standing around the corner, like they were lined up and around, like waving around all through the convention, trying to get in line to buy cards for Lorcana because it was being launched in August last year.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the launch events, I think. So it's just amazing. Like the fans that are buying things like that. So yeah, we want to see that happen for the Battle Bunnies. Like that's why, we're excited to see it grow. But like you said, Frank and Krista, they have a plan. They're not like, like, oh, we need to go out and find 1 million people to buy, the TCG. They're taking their time. They're starting off, getting the cards and getting, getting them built by the community and that kind of stuff. And then eventually we're going to see that hockey stick maybe, and, it'll take off and there'll be all kinds of
They're
demand.
so genuine. Like I don't like anybody that meets them, they just like their energy and how genuine they are. Like
Frank's
and it's not like
enthusiasm is next
you
level.
can't fake that. Yeah, you can't fake that because the next time you see him, it's like the same thing, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
And what's funny too is at the end of like 3 days at a convention too, you can't hear him, but he's saying words, but you can't hear him over everybody else. And I'm like, what? But because he's nonstop telling everybody, sharing everything, and you could just feel the passion and like that level of enthusiasm. You can't not be excited with him, even if you're one of those people who's like, oh yeah, like that sounds really cool, kind of like not super interested but still appreciative. You walk away and you're going to be like, man, that guy was awesome. And so maybe you'll tell somebody about it.
Yeah, he's definitely, I mean, just they all are. Like, I mean, you said it earlier, the vibe attracts your tribe. Like, I don't think I've had a run-in with anybody that I didn't like inside of our community, and everybody's just awesome. Like that's rare. Like I've been in some other Discord communities, and you can definitely, you'd be like, not really my thing. And that's why I'm not actively involved in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for the Battle Bunnies, it's like I'll do anything for them. Like I will spend 12 hours putting together a podcast where I interview Ask Moonbeam. Like that's
an
the
AI,
insanity of what
so then
what I
I
go
feed it
to
through
for,
another program and get it to talk. Yeah. That's crazy.
yeah. I will ask Moonbeam a question and then take it and put it in 11 Labs, and then like I was seriously trying to figure out how to do animation in Adobe Animate so that I could move the mouth and do all that stuff, but I gave up on it because I was like, I just like
Can't. Yeah, I know. I thought that too. Like he's gonna hate me, but I'd say the mouth would be the next step. But
I
can't.
wanted to do that. I was trying to do that on Saturday. I was like,
I know you would have if you could have.
Because they have 2 different things. Like Adobe had in their creative suite, they have character animate and animate. And character animate, you can't create your own character. So that was going to be the perfect thing, because what it does is it uses your camera, and all you have to do is talk, and it makes the mouth and the eyes move and all this stuff based on like your movements. And then I was like, well, that doesn't work because I can't upload my own character. I wanted to upload a picture of Moonbeam and just animate her.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I'll try animate. So animate, you can like move things that are 2D objects and do that stuff. And I was like, it's just too hard. I don't know how to do the timeline. Like, I was like, I wasted about an hour on that. And I was like, nope, I was like, it's not going to turn out well. So that would have been awesome if I could have got like a moving mouth and eyebrows and eyes and stuff like that. But I couldn't figure it out. I'm sorry, Ultimate fans. I will work on that next year. Next year we'll have character animations,
Harley, do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so.
200 questions.
No. I know we've had you over an hour now, and unfortunately Lord L did not get to pop in as we thought he might. So
yeah,
so that's too bad. He's great, but he works like 3 jobs, and he's in a completely different time.
Australia.
Yeah,
he's in Australia. Yeah, so it's about, what would you say? It's like noontime there.
If it's 10 here, it's probably noon there. Yeah, so he's
middle of the day.
Yeah, he's a cook. He helps with. He helps so many different things. Like it's literally just everything.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing now? He's like, I'm working. Okay.
Yeah.
He's an entrepreneur. Yeah. Like he's got his hands in a lot of things. So
and a family too. Like we all know that. Like just family guy, and then he's got everything else going on. But he's hilarious when he's on.
It definitely completes the trio here on the Ultimate Fancast when we can have all 3 of us together. So, but no, we were so excited that you could come on tonight. That was awesome.
I'm glad this worked out.
Yeah,
I was bummed because the last time it was like this late, and I was like, that's like that's my bedtime. It's like, I may be an adult, but I go to sleep really early according to like everybody else my age.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, you get up early. So when I used to get up at 4:45, it was not common for me to start falling asleep on the couch at 9:00. So
yeah. But no, I'm excited that this worked out. I really appreciate that you guys reached out again, and thank you again for the Euligan. I'm excited to have him. He's very purple, and I love him.
Congratulations and welcome to being a holder. We'll do that on the back end. The
confetti.
Yeah,
that all happens in post. Yeah, with that, we'll
new channels, new giveaways, more information, the background. Love backgrounds, so you're gonna love that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Locally. Oh, hey!
Last but not
least, the one that everybody wants to talk to, Lord L.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. It looks like I've missed a lot of goodness, but I'm here.
Yeah, you did. We were starting to close things up, Lord L, because we were just like, well, Lord L's not here, so we better shut down.
Oh, Lord L, is that a Richmond shirt?
Well, man, that is totally fine. Yeah, I think it's one from last year. Not the one before.
The one before. Okay. Nice.
There's a big convention in Richmond at the Richmond Tattoo Convention. Is that the full name of that? By Jesse Smith. And it's really like where all the Battle Bunnies kind of go. Like that's the convention everybody goes to, and we hang out and say hi to each other. And they're adding more things to it every year. Like last year, they added a poker tournament from Dead Poker Society, and they had the Scyther games, which you could go and go for a trophy, which was pretty cool, created by Frank and Krista. And so every year they just seem to add more and more to it. And more people show up, so it's really a cool event, and that's in Virginia.
Oh, that was one of the.
What?
That was the cool thing too, going to the first one and then going to the second one. You see, there was like 10, 15, 20 of us at the first one, and then on the second one there was like 50 plus. I can't even count how many people there were.
Yeah.
This year is going to be even bigger because like more and more, because DBS wasn't there, so DBS is coming this year.
Yeah,
we'll
probably do a live show.
IRL.
Sweet.
Live show. We should do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. Well,
I think we were planning to do that last time, but yeah.
Yeah, we were, but it didn't work out. But we did record Lord L playing the Scyther Chronicles. Like he had like a camera on, and like I just haven't edited the video. I could have done that too. Like the first person view from Lord L playing cards.
Well, that one of the pictures you took, Brian, is my profile picture on Facebook, and seriously, it's my favorite photo of all time. Like you captured a moment, like legit. Like
Nice.
it's there we go. Oh, thanks,
I love
BBS.
that. Yeah, I love to hear that.
Now I'm comfortable.
Official now.
All official.
All right, Carly. So we're gonna bring you back to the green room, and then we're gonna say some nice things about you, and then we're going to bring you back out after we've hit the end recording button. Okay,
Yeah.
so it'll just be a couple more minutes, but appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Lord L, did you want to ask her anything or say anything before we put you in the green room?
Not really, man. The thing I did want to say, definitely, I was thinking is that, man, it sucks I missed it, but it's going to be exciting for me now because I'm going to have to watch it to see what went on. But definitely, we'll be getting you back again because I wasn't here.
Yeah,
so we have to get you back no matter what again. And I will.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much. That'd be awesome. But yeah, it's going to be just exciting for me as everyone else now. Like, what's going to happen? It's going to be good.
What shenanigans are going to happen?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Luke, for coming on. Like I know you just got done with a shift, and your dedication to this is just awesome. So thanks so much for showing up. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right. Well, we're putting you in the green room. All right, Lord. What did you think?
All right, Lord. So give us a recap of what just happened.
Well, the first thing is, man, it's good to be back. It's good. It's good to be back, guys. Man, it's good to be here with you guys. I know, like we've been trying to get in with each other for ages, so it's good to be back, regardless if I only come for the last 5 seconds of the 5 minutes. Getting to see her big bubbly smile and how happy she was, it just says it all. Like from the start, I definitely missed out on an awesome episode, I'm sure, but I get to watch it. So, did I really miss out? Definitely not, but it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you'll get to see it. And her big bubbly smile was because you came on. Like before that, she was like, talking to these ads. They don't know anything. I'm just kidding.
Carly started the show as a non-holder, and she's ending the show as a holder. So you'll have to watch the episode to find out all about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But so now she owns a Hooligan now, and she's a Series 1 holder.
Yeah, very.
And just what a great community member, right? It's like she comes in and mixes in what she does for a living with like what the Battle Bunnies are doing, and it's just like a perfect synergy of art, woodworking. So Carly does the hardcover frames, Luke. The with the engravings and the numbered, like they're numbered to like 100.
Yep.
So she does that, and she does these hop counters, which I'll bring these to the stage, which you can use with the TCG.
Oh well, I see.
Yeah.
I've seen them a few months back. They're awesome. I like a laser cutter or something, but they're amazing.
Yeah, totally amazing. Yeah, it just makes the game even better. Like the accessories and the collectibles. I mean, she's taking it all to another level with the combination of her stuff that you can get in the shop. In her shop.
That's dragonwoodshop.com. Maybe we can get a graphic on the screen.
In that token, we might be able to use something like this in the future, guys, because...
What were you thinking?
Like it could make a good trophy of some type, or I'm sure we could get on it. Yeah, if you know what I'm saying. I don't give up too much alpha, but...
We already talked about the Binky Awards and using her for that. So you missed out.
Okay,
You're gonna have to watch the episode.
You're on the right page. Like I'm so happy you said that. Like because we needed a third vote, and by you saying that,
yeah.
Oh,
So you You picked up on,
So look, that just shows we're all on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Your vibe attracts your tribe. We're all on the same wavelength. We're all going down the same journey, and we all instantly think, "Wow, why don't we get them done from her?" Damn, that's some like in-house, like how we always like to work, and then then they're going to be sick.
Yeah, very cool. Well, we probably should wrap this up, guys. Carly has been such a great guest here on the Ultimate Fancast. We're excited that she could join us this afternoon for Lauderdale. We can't wait to have her back in the future. So I'm just excited, like, again, a new member now, a new holder, like, that is just awesome. Thank you so much for doing that, BBS. That was just awesome. I love that you were able to do that, and I'm excited for Carly and for Jason to now join us as holders here in the Battle Bunnies. And if you're an Ultimate fan, or you want to be on this show, we'd love to to bring you on, whether you're new to the Battle Bunnies or you're an OG. We've still got lots of people we'd love to have on the show. Plus we'll be interviewing. I'm not going to drop the alpha here, but somebody that you might know from this show is going to be on the show soon as the guest. So that will be really cool. But I don't know, like and subscribe, hit the ring bell on YouTube. No, we don't know who it is. No.
So every week we also have a promotion where if you subscribe, like, and comment on the current show, then every week we're gonna spin a wheel, and one person is gonna win 20 Scyther from the Battle Bunnies Discord. And then we also have, for every show, if you join the Battle Bunnies Discord and you answer questions that have to do with the show, then there's another reward for that also. Nice. So definitely hit us up if you're interested in any of that, or visit us on our Discord. We have our own Discord as well.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you, Carly.
Thank you, Carly. Thank you for joining us today, Ultimate Fan. BBS, Lord L, and Brian, that's me, do hope you enjoyed today's program as much as we did, where Ultimate fans like you are the stars of the show. We'd be honored to have you join us on a future episode where you can share your story and love of the Battle Bunnies with this encouraging community. It would be the greatest compliment if you shared something you love about the Battle Bunnies on your favorite social platform today, like X, Facebook, or Instagram, and tagged us. Or simply use hashtag UltimateFancast so we can recognize and celebrate with you and other super fans by sharing your post. Bonus points if you do both and use an image of one of your favorite Battle Bunnies or a screenshot of this episode. We know you share, like, and comment because you care about our fellow Ultimate fans as much as we do. Please leave comments too to let us know how we can make this the greatest fan experience for the Battle Bunnies community. This podcast is sponsored by Hairstream Media, your bunnies all the time streaming service. Okay, not really. It is just us fans like you giving some of our time to support other fans like you. Join us over in the Battle Bunnies community and Discord to continue the fun. We hope you tune in with us each week. So make it easy. Subscribe now. We'll be here to keep you hopping when you need us.